Only housekeeping right now is to remind you to subscribe. I hope I am earning your subscription with today's episode. I am trying to not get overly political. That's not what this channel is about. I'm not here to talk politics, personal, in like the governing body politics, anything like that. I just want to let you guys know of the things that are happening. And in today's climate, that is kind of difficult to do. So our first little portion is going to be a new section. That new section is, I'm calling it Callouts. And the reason I'm calling it Callouts is because, the Gina Carano situation. Let's just lay it out on the table. We've been keeping tabs on it as much as we can without getting into the politics. I know I have exposed my own personal opinion on this a couple of times. It's my show. I reserve that right to do that from time to time. So I feel like it should be no surprise the things that I think on the situation. But we just have people on both sides kind of digging in. Well, I say both sides. Really, the digging in part is the Disney part, and then all of the media outlets that are kind of on the teat, if you will, are shilling that same product. So yeah, here we go. Let's get into call-outs. I'm calling out a couple of things. First thing that I wanted to call out has to do with coverage of the situation. Comicbook.com, I'm going to read a quote very briefly. So that quote, really, really quick. Comicbook.com says this: to recap, the end of Carano's time in the galaxy far, far away came after Carano made a post conflating persons with conservative viewpoints in the modern era to Jews in the time leading up to Nazi Germany. Unlike other statements she's made, Carano deleted the post that day, but the damage was already done, end quote. Okay, so this has to do, the reason they said this is because Bob Chapek is doing the investors call today, and somebody asked him very pointedly about the firing of Gina Carano. We're going to get into what Chapek had to say about that, because that is the other part of this. But the call out here is comicbook.com, very specifically comicbook.com saying that, first off, that she conflated persons with conservative viewpoints to those of Jews leading up to Nazi Germany. That's a bit of a paraphrase. What I said before is the exact quote that they have posted on the website. I have it linked down in the description, so go check it out. But that is not what the post said. The post was saying people of differing viewpoints. If you make somebody who thinks different than you into something other than human, that is what she was conflating to victims of Nazi Germany. Again, it was kind of a sloppy comparison. I will give you that. It was probably not something that she should have done. I will give you that. But let's not strawman this. Let's not put words into the woman's mouth. Let's just go on what she said. And then the other half of this is saying that she deleted the post. So I don't know if you know, but it was posted as, I believe it was posted as a fleet on her Twitter. If not, it was posted as a story on her Instagram, both of which automatically delete. Automatically. It's just gone. There it goes. Goodbye. That's the nature of the post. I'm sure, and Gina Carano is not a stupid person. She knows that the internet is forever. So I don't think that she had any intention of hiding this belief from people. So to say this in this way is very deliberately painting this person out to be something that she's not. Namely, a coward who thinks that her suffering is equal to that of Jews from the Holocaust. Neither of these things, I feel like, are accurate statements. So I'm calling that one out. The other half of this, again, like I said, Bob Chapek on the investors call today was asked very specifically about the firing of Gina Carano. So that specific question garnered this response. I don't really see Disney as characterizing itself as left-leaning or right-leaning. Yet instead of standing for values that are universal, values of respect, values of decency, values of integrity, and values of inclusion, and we seek to have the content that we make reflective of the rich diversity of the world we live in. And I think that's a world we should all live in harmony and peace. So this non-answer is kind of saying, well, she was promoting violence in some way because he's talking about harmony and peace. So the extrapolation that you can come to from that point is that, well, if you're trying to garner this kind of environment, you're trying to promote the harmony and peace of the environment, then to fire somebody, if this is your argument, means that they were trying to promote something opposite of that. So let's go back to the quote, the actual comparison. I don't have the quote. I didn't look up the exact quote. If you guys get really grumpy with me, I'll go look up the exact quote because I will read the fleet rather, or the story, whichever. I can't remember exactly which one it was posed to, but it was a story or a fleet, one of those automatically deleting platforms. So let's go back to that. So what she's saying is it is dangerous to turn people who think differently from you into something other than human, because that's how we can justify killing them. Right? So that's what she was saying. So that is somehow, according to Disney CEO Bob Chapek, that is apparently promoting violence when not 8 months, maybe it was a little bit more than 8 months, 10 months, something along those lines. Lead of the show, Pedro Pascal, literally called people who thought differently from him Nazis. Do we not see, no pun intended there, do we not see a double standard here? Is this not, like, I don't like defending things that are sloppily done. I don't like defending things from people I don't necessarily agree with. And for me to say I don't agree, I do agree that othering people is a bad thing. So I do agree with that point. I believe the point was very sloppily made and could have been a little bit more eloquent. Absolutely. So I don't like defending the non-eloquence of people in Hollywood at all, regardless of how much I agree with their opinions. It's just like when I would get into political debates when Trump was still president. Like, I hated the guy, but pick something that he actually did to hate him for, not just things that you perceived that he might have done behind closed doors, because that is not a legitimate reason for anything. Anyway, so that's what we're calling out. I'm calling out comicbook.com for deliberately misquoting and misleading their readers, misquoting the source and misleading their readers. I am also calling out Bob Chapek for his non-answer, implying that his former employee was promoting violence. Neither of these things are good, and this is not doing anything positive for the community. And now, let's get into the actual beef of the episode, the news. Okay.